In today's video, I've got some home decor DIYs that will only cost you a few dollars to make. I'm Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Welcome back to my channel. Now for my first DIY, I'm going to take this plate and this bowl that I picked up at Walmart. You can get these in the kind of dishware section at Walmart, and you can buy these individually. They are plastic, and they're actually a really heavy grade plastic. Now go ahead and remove those pesky stickers. You know how much we love doing those. A heat gun works really well for this. And then you'll notice in my bowl that I did drill a hole in it. And then I'm using my chalk marker here to make a little pink dot. So now we're going to add some adhesive. We are using the Gorilla Glue adhesive. I really like this, actually. It's a little stinky, though. And then I am going to add a little bit of hot glue as well. I'm going to make sure that that hot glue does not cross over to where that Gorilla Glue is. And the hot glue is really just to help hold this while it kind of sets up. So now the hole in the middle, you see, helps me center it. How cool is that little trick? Go ahead and just hold some pressure down, and then you've got the cutest bowl ever. And this is how I styled it in my home. This next DIY is going to take some Valentine's leftovers. I don't know when I'm going to be posting this video. Maybe you can buy it now. And then this little vase that I have from Goodwill, this is purely just to kind of help get this painted. We're going to add some glue. Again, this vase is not going to be part of the DIY, but it does kind of give you a little bit of a handle to paint this, and it also kind of helps raise it up off of my table. So I'm taking chalk paint. Now, I did try and spray paint one of these, and it was an absolute fail. So I decided to go with the chalk paint because the chalk paint will adhere to just about everything. And I'm just kind of patting it on. I'm actually using a Dollar Tree washcloth there. And I'm just dabbing it on. And we're just going to continue to do this until we've got this whole entire bottom side covered with our paint. And then you can see here, take that vase out and then just start to kind of repeat that process when that kind of backside dries. And you will get this, and as you are kind of pouncing that paint, you'll see how it starts to get a really cool texture. Now we're going to add some feet onto the bottom of it, and this is how I have it styled in my home. Now for this next DIY, I'm going to take this great vase that I picked up. I believe this came from Walmart's Dollar Spot. It may have come from Target's Dollar Spot. I don't remember by looking at that tag. I've had it for a while. I have these beads from Crafter Square, and I have a big ball of twine here that we're also going to use. Now, these kind of, I've been seeing these kind of beaded vases in a lot of home decor stores, and I love that trend. As you guys know, a lot of my house is kind of an industrial modern kind of a flair, and this definitely works. But depending on how you want to paint your vase, or if you want to put white beads, for example, on this can totally go a lot of different ways. So just know that whenever you're looking at this, again, you can kind of create your own version. Now I added some hot glue onto the end of my twine there, and then snipped it off with a nice sharp edge. That way I can thread those beads. That is such a good trick. I'm trying to think if a subscriber or somebody told me about that, but whomever or wherever I got it from, maybe it was from God, thank you. And it definitely makes a difference. And you can tell that this twine is a pretty good thickness, and it works like a charm. Now, you are going to make enough beads to go around the neck of your vase, and then you are going to kind of tie that off. And it's important to make sure that those beads go kind of all the way around and that they do connect, because you're not gonna want to kind of see any spacing there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tie a very tight knot. The twine worked out really good. If I were to do this again, I might go with a smaller twine just for the beaded part. But again, it worked out fine. Now I'm just going to make a very quick tassel. Tassels are pretty easy to make. I don't know if I do them exactly right, but this is the way that I do them. And it seems to give me the kind of the same effect most of the time anyway. So go ahead and add your little bundle of finger ropes there on the end. and then tie that off, kind of giving that illusion of the tassel, and make sure that that knot is nice and tight, and then just kind of cut off your strings that are still kind of rounded there, and then you'll want to go ahead and just even those out. And initially I was going to keep my tassel a little long here. I thought it looked really good that way, and I kind of liked the way it was just kind of hanging down. But then I ultimately did decide to go ahead and trim it up a little bit shorter, and then take a lighter, kind of finish off those frayed. And this is what it looks like in my home. I really love the way that this is styled, and I think that this really elevates this vase that I think I paid about $3 for. Now, another option you could do is if you can find this Dollar Tree vase and then, of course, grab some additional beads. We're going to make another version of this, and I saw this, I believe it was either at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I really could not get over how beautiful it was. The vase, I did take that outside and I just spray painted that a matte black. So while that is drying, we're going to go ahead and create a beaded tassel once again. And all you have to do is add a little bit of hot glue onto the end of your twine. You want to make sure that it's long enough so it kind of creates almost like a little bit of a needle effect. And then I use my fingers. I guess I've developed a little bit of a callus or something on there. It's not a callus, but my fingers have gotten stronger. Now we're going to go ahead and add our beads. I originally was going to alternate and go with the black and brown, but I decided this time just to go with the all brown beads. I think that this is going to be, well, I know it's going to be, because I love the way it looks when it turns out. But again, this trend of like these either kind of matte black vases with these beaded kind of collars on them and tassels and things seem to be really, really popular. There were a ton of them when I went out, and I loved the way that this looked. So you're going to, once again, just kind of create your beaded twine necklace here, and you're going to make sure that it's long enough to kind of go around the collar of the bottle. Now this one I am not going to put a tassel on, and this is how I styled it in my home. I really, really love this. This next DIY is super, super easy. I have this little metal colander that I picked up for $1.09 at Goodwill. I love the way that this looked, and I simply added some Dollar Tree rocks. These were rocks that I actually had in my stash, so I didn't have to buy anything at all, which was great. And then the succulents that I'm going to be adding are also from my stash. So this was $1.09 to create this. Of course, I had to buy this stuff at one time, but I don't count them if I've already had them on hand. And then I did end up adding about 3 little succulents. This is adorable, and this is how it is styled in my home now. Now for this next DIY, I'm going to be using these stencils that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And I also have these cutting boards. I love the wood grains on the cutting board. You could certainly play around with it like you see here. You could put one off to the side if you wanted to. I just love that wood grain so much on here. I did ultimately decide to go ahead and take my cutting boards and just kind of use those traditionally. But, you know, why not? Why not give it a try? Now, for my stencils, I am going to tape those down because they're not self-adhesive or anything like that. And I'm using antique wax. I'm using Waverly's antiquing wax, and I'm just going around the edge of the stencil, and then I'm going to go through and fill in the middle with the, this is the first time I used the antique wax in this way, so I wasn't sure how these would turn out. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with the results of these. Now, I am just taking my sponge brush and just kind of going through like normal, and then taking my heat gun, helping to speed along that drying process just a little bit. And then when you remove the stencil, you can see how gorgeous this is. I'm obsessed with these. I love these so much. I repeated that same exact process with the eggs like I did with the bacon. You could totally use different colors paint if you wanted to. Maybe let the letters or the wording eggs and bacon be a different color. I wanted to keep all of mine just very kind of mono, I guess, I don't know if it's monochromatic or what it is, but I like the way it looked. Now, when you remove everything, as you can see, so cute. I did add a black kind of stripe to the top of mine. Not sure where that video footage went. And then I just strung up some twine with some wood beads from Dollar Tree. And you've got the cutest little cutting boards. And this is how they are styled in my home. These are hanging in my kitchen right now. All right, you guys, that is my video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below which ones were your favorite. Be sure and like and subscribe and all that other jazz, and check out some of these other videos that are appearing up here on the screen. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.